Last week, I got very mad at OfferUp. I will not use it again until they fix their bleep. So instead, I will just be looking at eBay because that's probably the best way to buy anything, including computer parts, which is what we're doing, obviously. Who do you think I am? Ha 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 ha. Here we got some Asus A8n Sli. So I was looking at this board specifically because I want SLI on an old, is this 939 or AM2? Wait, yep, this is 939. Okay, so this is before AM2. But something SLI, I actually wanted something MATX, but it seems that that doesn't exist, even though it could very well exist for MATX for this socket. I haven't seen one. And I want this chip for 939 because I promised on 420 I would release a video using the 420 PC. And this is not a Celeron D420, but it's a 4200, and that counts because I wanted to use AMD. I don't want to have to buy a Celeron D420, even though it's cheaper. But this one, I have a couple boards that support this, and it is very similar to the chip that came in that computer, the 420 computer. And I'll just have to get a GT420. Ooh, here's a 420. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. It's a 1 gig DDR3. But it's an OEM card. A lot of them look like this. However, I'm not paying more than 25 bucks for one of these. Really, I'd like to spend less than 20. This looks like a good get. $55 after shipping for an HD 4890. This is the top of the line AMD 4000 series. 1 gig GDDR5. That's it's not a lot. Definitely not enough for anything today. It probably runs hot and very hungry for power. Yep, you got an 8-pin and a 6-pin right there. This is a really good looking card. Definitely. Newly listed. Buy it now. Some Quadros, 8400 GS from Palette. Yeah, 20 bucks. That is a pretty big no-no. I mean, really, if you just want to play like the first Tomb Raider, that's not a bad choice. 9600 GT for 50 bucks. Also too much. You can get a better card for about that price. What is this? Laptop external independent video card graphics dock express card. So you put in the express card, then this gets like a barrel plug, and you can plug in a graphics card and plug in a power supply. Does it work like that? You just plug in the express card into your old ass laptop and it works? I don't know. 8590. Is this a OEM? 8950. They never did an 8950. This looks like a 7950 though. I'm guessing that's actually what it is. GTX 295. Hell yeah. 100 bucks. Hell nah. GDDR3. Ooh, look at this 430 for 50 bucks. I mean, definitely don't get it, but direct CU. Look how big the cooler is. It just comes right off. I like interesting coolers like that. A 570 direct CU2 for $55. This doesn't look bad at all. It's triple slot. Oh my god. I mean, it'll stay cool probably. If you want a 570, that's not the 2.5 gig version, and that's not the EVGA version. Get this, but not supported by drivers anymore. This is the 570 I would get because I already have the 560 and the 550 Ti's. Definitely I would go for the rest of the line in EVGA because how cool they looked. 750 Ti for $95. Definitely not good enough, and that's an OEM card. What is it? 690 for 150? That's a bit much, but it's a cool ass card either way. Looks like a Titan Z, except it's only dual slot. 9600 GT. I mean, if you're trying to play like Oblivion, we're going to do buy it now, lowest price. An HD 4550 512 meg. I mean, the only thing cool about this is the heatsink. See that with a few really low-end cards that the coolers are just cooler, Another example. Here's a 7200 GS. Again, very bad card. And for $20, I would have to say no, but look at that cooler. If you were to buy it, it's for that. It's for the gigabyte. This is what I like to see. A GTS 250 with the transparent blue cooler. I mean, looks a little scratched up. That's really good looking, honestly. For 20 bucks. Not the worst thing. It's faster than a lot of other cards for 20 bucks. Not that you can play anything modern with it. I wouldn't try. Not a lot for 20 bucks. Here's a vintage SIS something. It's PCI. Can take a few ICs you just throw in there, Oh, it's the VGA BIOS apparently. It's got VGA on one side. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Have no idea what that is, but others might see the worth in it. Similar, here's a PCI IBM card. Zero idea what this is. Again, this is ancient stuff I know nothing about. I have a good feeling about the As we keep going, because we're only $20 for these cards. MX440. Oh, there's an MX420. I could use an MX card for the 420 PC, even though those are terrible and will only play, the first Tomb Raider. There she is, MX420. AGP. Pretty sure it's hot garbage. AGP S3 Trio 3D. Yes. 4 megabyte. I think we're so close to finding something worth it. I mean, other than the GTS 250, which is more just a showpiece. Apologies if I skip some gold. I'm just looking through a bunch of garbage. Ooh, MSI 8400 GS. This is the only 8400 GS I would ever own. Actually, I think I owned an 8400 GS for a short time. But I'd get this one just for the MSI. Even though hardly usable. Maybe you can play Half-Life with it. If that's all you want to do is play Half-Life over and over. Maybe some CS 1.6. If you're trying to live in the late 90s. 7800 GT, 256 meg. This is also $25. XFX, yeah, nice. You got a bulldog on there. You got a big old. Was that like a centaur, but instead of a horse, a bulldog guitar? Is that an Ethernet slot or jack, or is that for like telephone or DSL? Why is that on the graphics card? Mobility Radeon. What is this? That is some Korean characters. That looks freaking complex. Maybe that's a hidden gem. I have no idea what that is. 6 as-is video cards. Alright. For $25, might be one of the more worth it ones. I mean, you can't tell off the bat like what these are. But they're still probably like basically unusable. Diamond Stealth 3D 2000 Pro. What is this? Looking at a bunch of stuff I've never seen before. Great. So much good content. A 7200 with the box. Oh, it's got that gigabyte cooler. Neat. Please something dual slot soon. For real. Okay, finally. So $1.50 plus 25 shipping. The first dual slot card, I believe. A 5770. Not very great or anything. What? This is misleading. Free ship, free return. Used, no return. What? No return, no return. This says free ship, free return. I don't understand. You mislead me. But 5770, even though it's scratched up for $30, that is something. Always another GTS 250 with the blue transparent cooler. This one looks a little bit scratched up, like there's a sticker on here. 9600 GSO, 512 meg. 9800 GT, XFX, 512 meg. I have some XFX 7800 GTXs with a similar cooler and design. Here's the GeForce 9 series from NVIDIA. Identical to the 8800 GT. Okay, released July 2008. Apparently can have 65 or 55 nanometer process. PCI Express 16, 2.0. 112 CUDA cores, 600 megahertz clock, 1800 megahertz memory, GDDR3, somewhere between 75 and 125 watts. Can SLI them. Okay, so we've gotten a couple, I wouldn't call them reasonable, but cards you can use while you wait for prices to come down, because we're not even gonna dream about anything new. It's not happening. Or anything modern for that matter. It's just not reasonable to pay well over $100 more than you should for anything. Which is why these really cheap cards could be useful while we wait, for another 2 years. 4850 512 meg. It's about $30 as well. It's got a neat little blower style, single slot. GTX 260, 896 megabyte of GDDR3. This is also $30. I think 260 is from like 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. So according to Wikipedia, the GTS 250, some are rebranded GeForce 9800 GTX Plus. So this was a big performance increase, and the 260 is definitely faster than the 9600 GSO or even the 9800 GT. This is about $30, and so is this one. Same price, faster. You can actually probably do something with this. Okay, so far, this card's winning. The arbitrary competition that I just started. A Rage 128. This says R9200, and it does not look like a Rage card, so your guess is as good as mine. Ooh, 2600 XT. I had the 2900 XT. Now I want this one. I want all the cards in the entire line that had this cooler. This is the coolest cooler It's so hot it looks cool, you know? But it's pretty garbage for $30. Does user benchmark even have these cards to test? 9600 GT, okay. With cards of this time period / performance, it's hard. I don't know if I can use user benchmark to accurately compare them, but apparently the 5770 is much faster than a 9600 GT. What about a GTX 260? Still 40% faster. So the HD 5770 from a lot earlier is probably better. Yeah, I take this with a grain of salt. I can't confirm any of these numbers. Another GTS 250, a couple of them. However, there was that blue transparent blower style cooler from earlier that was like, which might have been like 20 bucks. Ooh, this looks dirty. That looks so bad. I mean, the cooler is the best part of this one. Oh, what is happening? Yeah, maybe you don't get this one. Soon, as in hopefully next week, there is video of cards about $50 performance. We might get to about that high on here. I don't know, there's a lot of cards. But we'll try to test one of those older, but still technically usable cards and see how it treats us. More 250s for $30. Ooh, might be the best thing yet. $30 for a 6850 1 gig. What's a 6850, you may ask? Roughly 10% faster or more than a 5770. Even 280 is slower, holy crap. GTX 450, still much faster. How about a GTX 460 is the next faster thing, I guess. 6850, probably the best thing we've seen so far. Anything else decent for $30? What is this? An MSI 9600 GT? Just kidding, this is the new best 9600 GT. What is this cooler? Something MSI, but I've not seen that design before. Wait. A GT120. This has to be OEM, right? This looks like it was in an Apple computer. This got me fucked up. Yeah, Apple. Is there something that's going to sweep me off my little toes? No, but here's a 8500 GT with a really cool cooler from MSI. Never disappoint me. A new $30 260. This one's got like camo on it with like some elven bitch. Here's a GTX 275 for $32. Pretty cool. By the way, I have a 8800 GTS OC if you want me to test this in the upcoming video. Oh my gosh, finally, here's a 550 Ti for $35. Anyway, yeah, I can test this to see if these $20 cards are even usable. I'll have to use an older operating system because Windows 10 really might not play well with it. Such legacy drivers. Old hardware, but a 550 Ti, $35. This might be the new king. Nope, 6850 wins. But I've only seen one of those 6850s. There's been a few 5770s. Apparently that's still faster. I will be testing the 550 Ti and said performance video on these older cards. For the other card, it's going to do the GT710, which I've been impressed with so far. But I've not seen a 710 on here, but there's plenty of cards faster than it, but with less supported drivers. It's kind of tricky, but 550 Ti, something to keep in mind because I was seeing those for about $50. But this item's untested, no returns, so that always raises, confidence in the item. GT620 silent, nice. I think we already saw one of these. Ooh, alternatively, there's a Radeon X1300 with a weirdo silent gigabyte cooler. Oh, I have one of these. Apparently this was in an Apple computer. Another 5770 for $35. Ooh, here we go. Here's a GTX 460. This is the fastest thing so far, I think. Even though it's very OEM from MSI, it looks like I believe the same cooler found on the 560 and 550 Ti. Yeah, that is under a gig of RAM. And I believe these are more plentiful at $50. But there are so many of these cards I cannot get to $50. But I don't want to miss something else that's really good. And by really good, grain of salt, 460, not good. Today's standards, you can't play anything new with that card. And it does not have supported drivers anymore. But it's, in terms of value, price to performance, that is so much better than current $200, $300, $400 card plus. R7 240, if you're trying to dual graphics something. Still are using a really bad APU. Oh, it's MSI. $35. Thing is, this is really bad. Ooh, I just about missed this. Here's the Cyclone GTS 450 for $35. If you're getting a 450, you might as well... Actually, there are a lot of those for like $25, $30. Maybe not this one specifically, but this is the coolest cooler so far. More 260s at this price. Okay, $40 to $60. Buy it now, newly listed. No, okay, here's the 570. That's $55. I don't know if that's worth it over the 460. It might be way better. Yeah, 570, yeah. I mean, I know it was faster by a touch, but here's another one too. Is this the same one? Does this guy have two of them? Holy crap, that would take up 6 slots. Because each of these is a triple slot. If you had 2 of these in SLI, here's a very instructional GTX 745 for $55. Ooh, a part's only 760. 1.5 gig. What? That has me sus. No, it's either 2 or 4 gig. What? Like, just getting something blatantly wrong. There's no way it's 1.6 gigs. Oh, it was there. I'm just dumb. Weird how they would shrink the memory bus. Is it just OEM? Yeah. I'll let it die. I mean, maybe if it was a 3 gig, 2 cards. This is a 768 megabyte, probably like a 8000 series, 9000 series, somewhere in there. 560 Ti. Not the 448 core, which is basically a 470. 6970 for $80. We've seen better at this point. Oh, here's a 480. A 480 for $60. That's too much. I got 2 of these for $50. Ooh, 2 9800 GTs for $50, $55. If you're looking for these specifically, I mean, oh, when it comes, that's for the motherboard. Keep that with your board. Please don't sell that too. Your board's gonna be useless. Like, does this have to be in the board for it to work? Why? Where's the board? Is it dead? Here's a 651 gig for $60. That's a bit much. Another 6050, same one we saw back here. For $60, this one's only $30. Ooh, a really cool looking 5870. An Asus formula. Wow, thank you for the picture. Now I know. Ooh, the 560 SE. I think that stands for edition. Can we have something good, please? Okay, here's a 6950 for $60. The same or worse than a GTX 570, which we've seen for cheaper. 260 for $30. This seems to be the best value, but there's only one currently in eBay. 460 for $35. This potentially, I mean, you get 2 cards for $55. I think we've already seen the winners for this time. So this is a winner for today. 6850 for $30, and this 550 Ti for $35. So the card I'll be testing in the video potentially next week is the GTX 550 Ti. Mine is a 2 gig. I actually have 2 of them, so I can SLI them in the future. This is $60, but we've already seen a card of similar performance. This 460 is also $35. So these like $35 cards, that's kind of killing it, because otherwise you're probably spending $200 or $300 on a card that costs $100 or $2 less. Is not worth, because as soon as those come down in price, well, you lost money.